This is Josh here at Cody Cove Farm, and today we're going to take a look at the strain of Seminole Pumpkin that we offer seed of on our website. So the thing about Seminole Pumpkin is that it's not just one thing. There's many strains, different shapes, different sizes, different tastes, thickness of the walls, all kinds of different traits. And one person's Seminole Pumpkin is not necessarily another person's Seminole Pumpkin. Now they're called Seminole Pumpkins because they're native to Florida. In reality, these are a form of Cucurbita moschata from Central America that through native trading routes made it into Florida a long time ago. So they're not genuinely native, but they've been here a long time, and it was a traditional Native American crop in the state of Florida. Now, the actual exact strains that Native Americans grew, is this the same thing, or is what other people sell the same thing? I don't think we really have a way of knowing that. These could have easily crossed with other similar moschata squash over time, so we don't know. And honestly, I don't think it matters that much. It's certainly cool to preserve the history, but the most important thing for most of us is getting high production of good tasting quality pumpkins. So I'm really excited to show this year, this is our best ever crop of Seminole Pumpkin because we grew them in a really loaded up raised bed, and then we trained the vines to the south and they've sprawled out of the bed all over here. As you can see, they're starting to decline a little bit. They tend to do this. They tend to kind of putter out, they get foliar diseases and turn yellow kind of as most of the squash ripens. So we're gonna pull all these out of the field and show our harvest. I think I counted something like 50 mature orange pumpkins just from what I could see. There's 10 plants or clusters of 2 plants maybe going down the bed, spaced at about 5 feet apart. We did weigh one inside that seemed to be of an average size, and it was about 7.5 pounds. Some are gonna be smaller, some bigger, but that's quite a lot of food. And this particular strain, I don't exactly remember where we got the seed, but maybe from the Echo Seed Bank. But what I like about it is every plant is a little different, different shapes, different sizes, and presumably also some of the horticultural traits of each plant vary a little bit from plant to plant. So by having diversity in your seed population, just by default, when you save seed from your best plants or the ones that you like the fruit characteristics of the most, you're selecting towards something that's ideal for your garden. And so it's very easy to save seed. You'll get a mature squash, cut it open for cooking, and just scrape the seeds out, wash them, dry them on a paper towel, and put them away, and you've got your own seed stock forever. So yeah, we're gonna pull the harvest. These are beautiful. They can last for up to a year. Typically for us, not so much. Now, they could be more mature for sure, but we've had very high humidity and rain, and we can already see on the bottom of this one, maybe a little bit of cosmetic damage starting to form where it was sitting. And I don't want that to progress because it'll potentially rot some of the pumpkins. It will shorten the shelf life. I don't want to lose fruit. So I've determined these are mature. There are some stragglers that are younger that we're going to leave, but today, June 10th or 5th or whatever it is, we're going to come through, we're going to take everything that's mature, we're going to get them inside and put them away for storage and for getting seed out of. We call this the diverse shape Seminole Pumpkin strain, and we simply call it that because every fruit is a little different from the next. Here's a little tip. You always want to harvest these with pruners, because if you just twist it off in the field, sometimes these stems will break off and that will be a wound on the top of the fruit and it will start to rot instead of having good shelf life. Maybe 20% of our fruit are like this, or there's a few in there, they're 90% orange, but a little green left. We're gonna let those stay on the vine I'm just gonna keep a close eye, because that rot can creep up fast. I've also had raccoons or rats or whatever it is start to get after them. So if I see something like that happening, they'll come out of the field, but we want maximum maturity, so our seeds are of the highest quality and the flesh is going to be sweeter and store better and all that. So we are leaving some behind.
Yep.
The legend is that when Spanish explorers came into Florida, they saw big orange orbs hanging in the oak trees. And Native Americans would apparently girdle an oak tree, I think near a river, so there was plenty of water for the roots to go down to. And they would train the pumpkins to go up in the trees, and that was what they saw hanging. So most of ours are on the ground, but it is kind of fun to think this one made its way up into this tree. And pretty cool to have that connection with the way that Native Americans used to grow these. All right, here's our final harvest. Now you can see why we call it diverse shape Seminole pumpkin, because we've got round ones, we've got ones with a neck. These are nice because that's all full of meat with no seed cavity. We've got some small ones, and then that one's really big. It's hard to say if like this is a plant that just yields small ones or a defective fruit on a vine that otherwise is large fruit. If you really wanted to select, it would be smart to trace it back and find out if it's a plant that just yields small fruit. We are estimating they average around 6 pounds. The one we measured inside was 7.5 pounds, and it was a little bigger than a lot of these, honestly. So we have 55 fruits, and estimating at 6 pounds, that's 330 pounds of pumpkins. And there's probably 10 more in the field, so, and plenty of little ones setting. So let's call it 400 pounds if we were to add up everything else that's in the field, or something in that ballpark. So yes, this is real food security, is having well-adapted varieties for your bioregion, and especially things like this that are so good tasting, nutritious, and what's amazing about these is the shelf life. We'll be eating these all through the summer, fall, and potentially on some of them even into the spring, with no refrigeration or anything like that. Of course, if we process them and freeze them, we'll have them forever.